Good evening. He was a dedicated police officer and member of the OPP's elite Golden Helmets motorcycle team.
Sergeant Brendan Malcolm died yesterday in a single vehicle crash on the 401. Today, he's being remembered by those who knew him and complete strangers. CTV Sean Leithong is live outside the Cobourg OPP detachment tonight, where the fallen officer is being remembered. Sean.
Well, Michelle and Nathan, Sergeant Malcolm was remembered as somebody who was very respected in the policing community, somebody who served for most of his adult life working towards this very goal. So now many of them here and in the community are heartbroken. The loss of OPP Sergeant Brendan Malcolm is being felt here at the Northumberland Detachment in Cobourg, a place he called home for nearly 6 years, seeing cards and flowers today.
Because I just felt bad of what happened last night, and I just felt like I wanted to drop some flowers off.
It's heartbreaking, it's sad.
I think it's an opportunity to say the sorts of things that we probably should say on a daily basis, how much we appreciate the police and their dedication to keeping us safe.
Ian McFarland dropped off a card this afternoon to express gratitude along with sorrow.
Bottom line is he's a member of the police community, of our community, and we've lost a good man.
5:30 yesterday afternoon, OPP received a call for a single vehicle crash along the 401 just west of Cobourg. Sergeant Malcolm was pronounced dead on scene. As a procession of officers lined up last night to show their respect, OPP Commissioner Thomas Carrigue spoke of the loss.
His career goal was to become a police officer. He had been an auxiliary member with Toronto Police, a member of the Canadian Armed Forces, and in 2020 he joined the Ontario Provincial Police.
Brandon was with the OPP for just under 6 years. He was a recruit previous to coming to Northumberland Detachment. He was a member of the Golden Helmets precision riding team.
The Golden Helmets are a skilled OPP motorcycle team.
They're the highest trained, most capable motorcycle riders we have in policing.
According to the OPP, the single vehicle crash remains under investigation, while there was also a secondary crash involving police nearby with no serious injuries. No cause has been given for either. Today, the president of the Ontario Provincial Police Association says mental health supports are being offered to colleagues, while members of the community say they are feeling this grief.
Hits close to home like that, it affects everybody, right?
It's rare. In fact, it's not occurred in the 13 years that I've been living here.
It's so sad to hear that there's no evidence of another vehicle. It's very bewildering.
The Provincial Police Association says they're connecting with Sergeant Malcolm's family in the Maritimes. Now, just to give you a sense of how heartbroken some of the officers are here today, sometimes when people were coming with flowers or a card, they would knock on the door and nobody would answer. Reporting live, I'm Sean Leithong. Nathan, I'll send it back to you.
All right, thank you, Sean. The SIU is now investigating after 3 people were taken to hospital following a crash involving a Toronto police car. It happened shortly after 10 this morning near Albion Road and Kipling. A 19-year-old man's been taken to hospital with serious injuries, while a 16-year-old girl and a police officer were both taken to hospital with minor injuries. The cause of the crash is still under investigation.
Also tonight, the Carney government unveils its spring economic update. The billions in new spending, plus what revised figures reveal about the deficit and the path to balance.
And we have more news in a moment, but first a look at the forecast. Here's a live shot of the city. A mixture of sun and cloud, a little bit cool, chance of rain, and that seems to be the trend for the next few days. Lindsay Morrison has a look at the current conditions. Hey, Lindsay.
Nathan, it was a soggy start to the day. Today we were drier, though, in the afternoon. I'll step aside so you can see the current satellite and radar imagery. A little bit of shower activity to our north and around Lake Simcoe, but otherwise we're even starting to see some cloud cover break up, maybe some peaks of sun before it officially sets tonight. We've got southerly winds today that are a little breezy in places. Temperature-wise, we have remained mild today. We're still at 16 degrees at Pearson Airport, and tonight we're going to fall to a low of +8, but by about this time tomorrow, we're going to be talking about much cooler weather and even the possibility of frost. So that is coming up. We're also going to talk about the unsettled weather for tomorrow. More rain on the way. We'll show you how much this time. That's ahead too. For now, Michelle, over to you.
Thank you, Lindsay. Police and fire investigators are looking into an overnight fire at a popular summer spot.
The owner of Cabana Pool Bar says more than half the venue was damaged by fire. CTV's Raheem Ladani is live on Polson Pier tonight with more. Raheem.
Hi, Nathan. This fire has caused hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of damage, but from the vantage point where we are right now, you can't see any of it because it happened at Cabana Pool Bar, which is behind Rebel nightclub. However, earlier today, I was granted access to go onto the property and see the damage for myself. Charred cabanas, torched umbrellas, and dozens of pieces of burnt patio furniture are now part of a crime scene at one of Toronto's most popular pool bars.
We had a couple of guys that we have footage of came and torched the place in 3 different areas.
These pictures posted to social media show thick flames and heavy smoke as this 2-alarm fire was called in just after 5 in the morning. With the help of a fireboat, crews were able to knock down the blaze, which was set at Cabana Pool Bar, connected to Rebel nightclub at Polson Pier. The flames did not reach the inside of the club and no injuries were reported. However, the venue's CEO says the majority of the outside is destroyed.
60% of the venue has been torched, so it's quite extensive. Definitely, in the hundreds of thousands of dollars in damage.
Toronto police are investigating this incident as a potential arson, but have not released any suspect descriptions. Forensic teams spent part of the day on scene photographing evidence, while fire investigators work to determine the exact series of events. Now, management continues to be on scene at this hour. They've been here all day cleaning up some of the debris and starting to rebuild. They tell us that they hope to have Cabana open by the end of May. Reporting live, I'm Raheem Ladani. Michelle, back to you.
Thank you, Raheem. A tow truck fire in Brampton overnight is also being investigated as a case of possible arson. Cell phone video shows the truck engulfed in flames in the driveway of a home near Dixie and Steeles. Firefighters arrived on scene around 3 in the morning. The Ontario Fire Marshal's office has taken over this investigation. So far, police have not provided any information on possible suspects or whether this might be linked to 3 similar incidents in Brampton last week.
A 70-year-old man is now facing a murder charge after a man was shot and killed in Mississauga yesterday. Police and paramedics responded to a plaza on Matheson Boulevard near Kennedy shortly after 8:30 yesterday morning. They found a 62-year-old man suffering from gunshot wounds inside a store. He died of his injuries. Investigators announced today 70-year-old Howard Brodsky of Thornhill has been charged with first-degree murder. Anyone with information about the case is asked to call Peel Police or Crime Stoppers.
Ontario's education minister says the province is considering banning social media and cell phones on school property.
Right now we're reflecting on a wider ban on cell phones. I think the evidence is becoming more and more clear that cell phone use in our schools, elementary and our secondary schools, anywhere on site, has become a problem. So we are considering an outright ban of cell phones on school properties across the province of Ontario. Obviously, for health reasons, we'll allow some exemptions to that. And we are going to be working closely with the federal government with respect to a broader social media ban.
Paul Calandra says he's also looking at a social media ban in schools and would like to go further than what Manitoba has planned. He says he's working with Ottawa on a ban on social media for kids under a certain age. Calandra says most of his counterparts across Canada agree that it's not beneficial to let students access phones in school. Manitoba recently announced that it plans to ban children from using social media accounts and artificial intelligence chatbots starting in classrooms.
And still ahead, excessive screen time. A new documentary reveals just how much of the day teens and tweens are spending staring at their smartphones. New insight on youth habits here in Canada and the potential dangers. But first, the federal Liberals unveiled their spring economic statement today. And while they're signaling a decreased deficit ahead of the update, the numbers tell a different story. There are also not many new measures to help with affordability. CTV's senior political correspondent Mike Lecouteur has the details.
It's more than just an economic update, proposing $37.5 billion in new measures over 5 years. A part of that includes a new skills training program. The government hopes to recruit, train, and hire between 80 and 100,000 skilled tradespeople by 2031. The cost of the program is $5.9 billion.
This means real pathways into skilled trades with paid training and on experience. It means more opportunities for employers to hire and train young workers.
While the deficit was $11 billion lower this year compared to last fall's projection, the long-term outlook is largely unchanged, with no path to balance for the next 5 years. And the deficit will remain over $50 billion into the 2030-31 fiscal year.
Today's Liberal fiscal updates brings more costs, more debt, and more bills on the national credit card. This Prime Minister is just another Liberal.
Royalties from high oil prices are contributing to government revenues, but Canada is facing fiscal headwinds from the ongoing trade war with its largest trading partner.
Together, we can chart a path forward to the fog of uncertainty, because Canada has what the world wants and increasingly needs. We have the right plan. We're building big. We're moving fast.
In addition to yesterday's announcement of the Canada Sovereign Fund, there is other new spending. $755 million over 5 years to support Canada's sports system, including Olympic athletes, and $4.3 billion for Indigenous communities. There is one pocketbook measure Canadians could feel. The government is reducing the contribution rate for the Canada Pension Plan. Someone earning $70,000 per year will get to keep $133 more of their take-home pay annually. But there are few other new measures to help Canadians on a daily basis.
I think what it demonstrates is the high fiscal cost to the government of trying to introduce new pocketbook saving measures for Canadians. It is very expensive.
Pressed on that, the finance minister pointed to measures like bolstering the grocery and essentials benefit, as well as suspending the excise tax on gasoline until Labor Day, as ways the government is helping Canadians deal with the affordability crisis. Mike Lecouture, CTV News, Ottawa.
The third largest oil producer in the world announced today it would be leaving the Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries.
The United Arab Emirates' exit from OPEC raises questions about the organization's influence and the future prices Canadians may see at the pumps. CTV's Geneviève Beauchemin has more.
Another plot twist in the story of gas prices' wild ride with a shakeup at OPEC. As of May 1st, the United Arab Emirates will be out of the oil exporting group, and the impact of the UAE's exit, say analysts, is still to be determined.
UAE wants to increase its output, but that's going to take time. Of course, getting into market is still a real challenge with that blockade of the Strait of Hormuz. So the volatility, unfortunately, and the sustained high prices, I think those are going to last for a while.
Well, it's going to be $200. I'm used to it at this point.
And Fizhank says he hasn't noticed the tax holiday Ottawa brought in to cushion the blow of rising costs.
Is there? There's supposed to be a tax holiday?
The excise tax holiday came into effect more than a week ago. The government estimated it would save Canadians about 10 cents a litre at the pump. But with negotiations over the Strait of Hormuz deadlocked, the price of oil worldwide has steadily risen in the past week. And so here's a look at how the tax holiday may be cushioning the blow. On April 14th, when Ottawa announced the cut, the national average was around 176 cents a litre. On April 19th, the day before the move came into effect, the price 174. April 21st, 164 cents a litre, the lowest price this month. Today, it's back up to $1.75 a litre, around 9 cents lower than the highest price this year. Now, all this as south of the border, Americans are paying the highest price at the pump in 4 years. That was in April 2022, shortly after Russia invaded Ukraine. Some drivers putting in a lot of kilometers say 10 cents a litre is small comfort.
But the 10 cents is not...
But to others, anything helps as costs add up. There's still plenty of time for the price of gas to go up and down before the tax holiday ends. That's slated for September. Geneviève Beauchemin, CTV News, Montreal.
In the Middle East, 2 Israeli strikes on a building in southern Lebanon killed 5 people. The Lebanese Health Ministry says 3 rescuers who went to help those hurt in the initial attack were among the casualties. 2 Lebanese soldiers were also injured in the second strike. The country's prime minister calls the attacks a war crime. Israel and Hezbollah have continued to clash in the south, where Israeli troops are deployed in a self-declared buffer zone. But the ceasefire has led to a significant reduction in hostilities. Israel has destroyed homes it describes as infrastructure being used by Hezbollah. The Iranian-backed militant group has kept up its drone and rocket attacks against Israeli troops in Lebanon and northern Israel. Meantime, Donald Trump says Iran wants the U.S. to open the Strait of Hormuz as soon as possible. The president also insists Tehran has informed him the Islamic Republic is in a state of collapse and is figuring out its leadership situation. Trump has not been receptive to Iran's recent peace proposal. It would see discussion of its nuclear program set aside until the war ends. But Trump wants that issue settled first.
King Charles and Queen Camilla were welcomed to the White House today for a historic state visit.
It comes at a time of strained relations between Donald Trump and the UK government. But all of that was put aside as the U.S. president rolled out the red carpet. CTV's Joy Malbin reports.
A grand show at the White House, pomp and ceremony, pulling out all the stops for the royals. Even on America's 250th anniversary of breaking away from Britain, the president adores the monarchy, and so did his mother.
She loved the royal family, and she loved the Queen. I also remember her saying very clearly, Charles, look, young Charles, he's so cute. It's my mother. My mother had a crush on Charles.
No hint of tension here, but the king's diplomatic challenge is to smooth over the strained special relationship over the U.S. war with Iran. Trump lashed out at NATO allies and UK's prime minister for a lack of perceived support.
This is not Winston Churchill that we're dealing with.
For American royal watcher Rashad Thomas, mixed feelings about this visit.
I'm offended by President's attacks on Canada, slagging the Royal Navy not long ago, and the British Prime Minister, and it's just really not the way you treat allies.
The first ever British king to address Congress, Charles acknowledged the attempt on the president's life.
Such acts of violence will never succeed. Whatever our differences, whatever disagreements we may have, we stand united in our commitment to uphold democracy.
And despite political friction, a reminder of a long shared history and values.
From the bitter divisions of 250 years ago, we forged a friendship that has grown into one of the most consequential alliances in human history.
What's not on the schedule, meeting with Epstein survivors, the king's younger brother Andrew questioned by police, stripped of his royal titles over his dealings with the pedophile. Tonight, a royal banquet where the president was very much involved, calling it an honor, telling the BBC that the king's visit will go a long way in healing any friction. Joy Malvin, CTV News, Washington.
Coming up, changing the marketplace. FIFA removed Toronto resale tickets for World Cup matches from its website to comply with new provincial price cap rules. We explain.
And I'm Pat Foran. Coming up on Consumer Alert, if you use the 407 highway, you can save time, but those toll charges can add up fast. One driver says she has to use the toll road every day, and her bill is about $1,600 a month. We investigate. That story is just ahead.
Winds will be coming out of the north tomorrow, and that's going to keep us a little cooler. 11 is our forecast daytime high for tomorrow. 15 degrees is the average this time of year. And we've also got more wet weather in the forecast, so that may mean a return to ponchos for fans at Jurassic Park cheering on the Raptors. Stay with us. We're going to talk about the risk of frost heading into the final days of April and first days of May. That's ahead when CTV News returns.
When you see it happen, send it to CTV News. Text 10400 from your screen to ours. Text 10400.
If you need to travel across the GTA and you want to save time, you often can by heading north of the city and taking the 407 toll highway.
The 407 raised rates in January, and now at peak travel times, you could be paying as much as $1 just to travel 1 kilometer. Here's Pat Foran and Consumer Alert. Pat.
Thanks, Nathan. And Michelle, a woman who drives to work says if she doesn't use the toll road, she spends about 4 hours commuting every day. When she uses the 407, she saves time, but her bill can be as high as $1,700 a month, which she feels is too much.
The rates are ridiculous.
Tasha Coates drives from Georgetown to Richmond Hill Monday to Friday for work. She says her 407 bills used to be about $1,200 a month last year, but now they've jumped much higher.
The price now for me to drive the 407 back and forth to work only is $1,700 a month.
Coates says she's usually in traffic during morning and afternoon rush hours, when at times the toll price can be $1 per kilometer.
It's $50 to work and $50 home, so I'm spending $100 a day traveling on the 407 to and from work.
Coates says traffic congestion is so bad if she doesn't take the 407, she'll be on the road an additional 2 hours. To reduce costs, the 407 does have promotional offers drivers can sign up for. Coates saved $540 on this bill and $961 on this one and over $1,000 on this one. A spokesperson for 407 ETR told CTV News, each month over 1.5 million customers receive a driving offer, and these discounts are an important factor in the overall bill. This customer is a great example. She's been enrolled in various promotions for 9 of the last 13 months and received savings of almost 65% on her toll charges. Even though Coates has used the promotional offers and saved money, she still believes the cost of using the 407 is too high and says when the promo offers end, her bill will return to about $1,700 a month.
I would love my bill to get decreased, and I would love that for the rest of Ontarians.
The Ontario government did remove tolls from the provincially owned eastern section of the 407 last June from Pickering to Clarington, which has saved drivers money. Coates says those using the western section of the toll road could also use some relief.
And a lot of people will not drive on the 407 because of the exorbitant cost. It's frustrating.
And the 407 encourages customers to sign up for promotional offers, including a program for low-income drivers who could get 8 free trips per month. Coates says the province should step in and find ways to make the toll road more affordable. On your side, I'm Pat Foran.
If you have a consumer story idea, email us at alert@ctv.ca.
Well, we welcome May later this week, and we better get those flowers because we've had so many April showers.
Yeah, it's like we're waiting for spring to really arrive with some warm temperatures.
Yeah, I might want to caution you on planting those May flowers just yet because it looks like we could be in for some frost as early as overnight tomorrow night because the temperature is going to be hovering close to freezing, and there's a couple of nights that look like that. I want to show you what it looked like by one of the cameras out by Lake Ontario earlier today. What you see there are midges flying around the lens. Yeah, tons of them down by Lake Ontario now. Anybody who spends time by the waterfront at this point in the season knows exactly what this is about. Midges are harmless, but there can be so many of them swarming you or swarming perhaps your balcony or your front door. They don't have a long lifespan, but they are very important to Lake Ontario's ecosystem. They provide food for birds and fish. So, yeah, we just have to get through a couple of weeks of this and into the month of May, likely for many. Today's rain likely helping those midges thrive. And we're still seeing a few showers right now, extending from Bolton through the Schomberg area, perhaps around Sutton and Keswick. You're dealing with some wet weather right now, too. Elsewhere, though, the cloud cover is starting to break up. Might even see some sun before it sets a little later this evening. Don't get too used to the dry conditions, though. We've got more wet weather on the way. We've got a disturbance that's going to swing through for tomorrow. This one isn't really going to impact the morning commute. Instead, it will have more of a late morning and early afternoon arrival. But at this point, we're anticipating anywhere from 5 to 15 millimeters of rain around the GTA. Some areas look to see a little less than that now, but Kingston over toward Ottawa, upwards of 20 millimeters of rain. It's been a very soggy spring already, so this may not be the most welcomed news. But yes, late morning, around the noon hour, we get into some showers here in the GTA. Likely still going to be dealing with some of those by the time we hit the early part of your Wednesday evening. Again, fans are going to be flocking to Jurassic Park. Might need the poncho for that. Overnight and into Thursday morning, we're going to dry out. We will hopefully have some sun in the mix. It is going to be a little bit chilly, though, and a few showers are going to return by the time we reach Thursday evening. By Friday morning, it's possible that we could see some wet flurries in places. The temperature is just going to be cool enough for that to happen. Speaking of cool, I wouldn't call it that right now. It's 15 degrees at Pearson Airport. It was a nice mild day once again. We're seasonal right now, and 8 degrees is what we're forecasting through the overnight hours tonight. There's tomorrow at a glance. 11 degrees is a little cooler than we've been the last several days, and some communities are going to be hanging out in single-digit territory tomorrow. That will be the case for us here in the GTA heading into the weekend as well. So here is your 7-day forecast. At least we'll have some periods of sun for both Thursday and Friday, but daytime highs of only 10 degrees, overnight lows near freezing, and that happens as we officially welcome May on Friday. The first weekend of the new month is looking chilly. Daytime high Sunday only 9 degrees, and a chance of a few showers following us into the early part of next week. That's the weather for now. Michelle, over to you.
Thank you, Lindsay. Also tonight, coping with the rising cost of post-secondary education. A new report examines the financial impact on parents preparing to pay for their kids' tuition.
As we mentioned earlier, Ontario is looking at putting in place restrictions on cell phone and social media use by minors.
And now a new documentary is shedding light on just how much time Canadian teens are spending on their devices. Our health reporter Pauline Chan has more.
A couple of weeks ago, Caden Orth agreed to participate in a documentary tracking how much time he spent on screens daily.
I would say probably about like 7 hours.
Was that a surprise to you when you actually, did the documentary and you found out how much time you spent?
Yeah, it was a surprise. I didn't think I spent that much time.
I didn't find out until after we finished shooting. And then I saw his screen time, which was, above average. And if I want him above average, it should be school, not screen time.
The 5.2 project is named after the 5.2 hours a day tweens and teens spend on smartphones, with 89% of kids exceeding the 2-hour maximum recommended in Canada.
Children really struggling, whether it was violence in the schools, self-esteem, self-image, online predators, and really feel a lot of this happens at the outset with the parents not really understanding what they're giving their child when they put this technology in their hands.
Children's brains are still developing, and psychologist Dana Sinclair says hours of social media creates excess input and fragmentation of attention.
People have this, too much emotional connection to what other people are doing, what other people are thinking. So all this mind clutter gets in the way. All the comparisons out there, and it prevents people from advancing themselves.
The federal Liberals have talked about banning social media for kids under 16. Manitoba has already pledged to do this, and Australia banned social media for under 16s last December. Margot Deneme is a former Crown attorney who started raising awareness about digital dangers, or RAD, a couple of years ago.
There's a multitude of issues that we address, and we do it together in a non-fear-mongering way, but an educational way to empower parents. So that's why I'm thrilled about this film.
Overwhelmingly, the best advice is to put the phone down at certain times, in class, at meals.
While Caden was always into hockey and other activities before the 5.2 project, he and his family are making a more conscious effort now to spend time on other things. The 5.2 project will be released on May 2nd, 5.2 on the calendar as part of Rogers' Screen Break initiative. Pauline Chan, CTV News.
The federal health minister today suggested Canada may follow the UK's lead and ban smoking for young people.
I'm looking into it right now. We saw what UK did, but I'm looking into it with all partners for now.
Last week, British lawmakers approved a bill to ban anyone born after 2008 from ever buying cigarettes in a bid to create the first smoke-free generation. The bill also tightens rules around vaping and other nicotine products.
Hearing aids may soon be available over the counter. The province is considering a regulatory change that would allow Ontario residents with mild hearing loss to buy devices without a prescription. Ontario's Health Ministry launched a 30-day consultation on the idea. Health Canada recently issued medical device licenses for some wireless earbuds that have built-in hearing aid capabilities. But Ontario law currently bans selling a hearing aid unless it's prescribed by a doctor or audiologist. Planning for your child's future has never been more complicated. In the past, it's meant setting money aside for an RESP and watching it grow to help pay for a post-secondary education.
But a new survey says many new parents aren't in a position to do that, and many are relying on their parents for help. CTV's Heather Wright reports.
Isabel?
With 3 kids in university at the same time, Brad Nussbaum knows just how expensive post-secondary tuition can be.
It was sort of like childcare, right? Having 3 kids in childcare at the same time, it's expensive. School's expensive.
Brad and his wife made a deal with their kids. They'd pay for tuition, the kids pay for living expenses. Registered education savings plans help cover most, and they got creative to take care of the rest.
There's a lot of scholarships that don't go claim. So we had the kids apply for every scholarship that we could find.
But as post-secondary tuition rises, more families say they might not be able to fully pay for their child's post-secondary education. According to a survey from Embark and Angus Reid, just 33% of parents say they can cover their kids' tuition. 27% say they won't be able to, while 26% expect it will be financially difficult.
Despite the large number of new parents today are financially planning and budgeting for the future of their children, there's not a lot of confidence that they can afford it.
In its early parent readiness report, Embark, an education savings and planning company, says there is significant concern among new and expectant parents when it comes to the cost of raising children. More than half say they are only somewhat financially prepared, while more than 1 in 3 say they've received financial help from family members. The advice from both financial planners and parents like Brad is to plan early to have as much time to save as possible.
We did a lot of things for our kids to get them to where they are.
With tuition, rent, and other living expenses, post-secondary education in Canada can exceed $30,000 a year, a number that keeps rising. Heather Wright, CTV News, Burlington, Ontario.
Looking for the perfect spot to impress on date night? Well, we're uncovering some hidden gem restaurants with cozy vibes, unforgettable dishes, and that extra little sparkle that will have you remembering this night for a long time. Brunch, lunch, or dinner, expect creative bistro dishes like French onion soup, beef tartare, steak frites, and after a meal, sneak downstairs to Sous-Sol, a hidden speakeasy serving original concoctions. French flair, cozy vibes, and a touch of mystery in every bite and sip. This week, we're stepping into history, where classic French cuisine gets a modern twist. Let's see what's on the menu. Et puis, on y va. All right, Chef John, this is a beautiful place with so much history, but what makes it the perfect venue for a date night?
I mean, you can't go wrong with this heritage mansion at Bloor and Sherbourne. Each room kind of has its own unique flair to it. The bar area, the rose room's fantastic as well. So there's a room for somebody, everyone in here.
This is how you create an elevated experience all around. Tell me a little bit about what you've put in front of me right here.
So you have the Maison Selby French onion soup and the tartare in front of you. The onion soup's fantastic. It actually takes us 3, almost 4 days sometimes to make the soup. It's a very rich broth and overly caramelized onions. It's a fan favorite here on date night. And then the classic steak tartare, kind of our Southern French take on it.
Okay, I'll do my best to eat this on camera. Oh, that is so good. Yeah,
and it's good for 2 as well.
Well, for now, it's good for 1. Wow, Chef, this looks absolutely incredible. 2 really impressive dishes. The coq au vin. Tell me a little bit about this dish.
So this is a very traditional French dish. Red wine, braised chicken. It's a great dish, especially this time of year. You get the coq au vin, and somebody else will get the steak frites.
I think I'll get
This is why people love coming to Maison Selby, especially for date night. There's something on the menu for everyone, which is fantastic.
Now you just need to find a date.
I'll join you anytime.
Okay. This is really wonderful. Thank you. Can't wait to finish this and go away. Well, there you are. Been saving you a seat. Have a seat. And cheers to you. Fall in love with Toronto's cozy candlelit spots. This gem is perfect for weekend date nights. Full details at cp24.com.
On the markets, the Canadian dollar ended the day lower, finishing at 73.06 cents U.S. West Texas Intermediate oil is up more than $3 to 99.93 a barrel, and the TSX dropped 233 points today.
Honda's announced a recall for nearly 40,000 minivans in Canada because of a safety risk related to unexpected airbag deployment. A notice posted through Transport Canada shows certain Odyssey vehicle models from 2018 to 2022 are affected by the recall. Honda says a software issue can cause the airbags to deploy unexpectedly, resulting in possible injury. The automaker says owners of the affected vehicles will be notified by mail.
Income tax filing deadline is fast approaching on April 30th, and that's also the deadline for residential property owners in Toronto to submit their 2025 vacant home tax declaration. The city says the goal of this program is to increase the supply of housing by encouraging owners of vacant residential properties to sell or rent them. All homeowners must make a declaration. You could do it online to avoid a 3% tax levy based on the assessed value and a $250 fine.
New data suggests the GTHA is becoming a renter's market. Data from Urban Nation shows in the first quarter of 2026, net rentals were down 3.8% year over year. Vacancy rates in the local rental market were up 5.4%, which is the highest vacancy rate since 2021. Availability of rental units is also up to a record 8%. This has some landlords offering more incentives to renters, with Urban Nation saying 2 months of free rent is the most common offer.
Resale tickets for the World Cup games in Toronto are no longer on FIFA's marketplace after Ontario's new price cap law took effect. The legislation bans anyone from reselling tickets for more than face value. FIFA says its resale platform is being reconfigured to comply with the law, and tickets will be relisted. Meanwhile, StubHub is still selling seats above face value. A spokesperson says they've met with the province but still have questions about how to comply.
The Blue Jays will be looking to get back into the win column as they continue their series with the Red Sox tonight.
And that's going to do it. Jesus Sanchez sneaks it inside the bag at third, and he's got a double.
The Jays were held to just 2 hits in the series opener against the Red Sox last night, going on to lose the game 5-0. First pitch for tonight's game is set for just after 7 at Rogers Centre. Meanwhile, Trey Yesavage will be making his season debut tonight. The 22-year-old has been on the injured list. Yesavage made his major league debut last season, making 3 regular season starts before becoming a key member of the playoff rotation during last year's run to the World Series. Another day off for the Toronto Raptors as they prepare to take their first-round playoff series back to Cleveland tomorrow night.
The series is tied, and a win tomorrow would give the Raps their first lead of the series. CTV's Allison Hurst has more.
The rebound the Raptors made in this series has put the pressure back on Cleveland.
We are really preparing for the next game. We still need to win first game on the road.
Following a back-and-forth, low-scoring Game 4 where Toronto squeezed out the win, they're not looking back.
Both teams, they were not shooting the ball great in that game, and I think this game is going to start with 0-0, and who knows where it goes.
Players are taking advantage of their off days.
Relax, watch some film, hang out with family, play some 2K, and have a chill day.
To be ready to be on the road for Game 5.
We have a chance to prove to everybody that, we're a good enough team to overcome a little adversity on the road.
There may have been a bit of playful adversity in the media room.
I thought it was tomorrow. We just talked about that.
No. That's crazy.
He just said it was tomorrow.
RJ Barrett took a seat with the media, listening to teammate Jamal Shedd's answers.
RJ Barrett has shown a lot of people, not just this series, but this whole year, that he can guard. I think there's a narrative that he couldn't guard. I think he just didn't want to for a while.
But just as he was about to go to the podium, he found out his media day is, in fact, tomorrow.
Sorry, buddy.
What he's not sorry for is sending a tied series back south of the border.
All the pressure is on Cleveland, and the Cleveland Cavaliers historically are not known for playing well under pressure, at least this iteration of the team, with Donovan Mitchell leading.
Good news for the Raptors heading into enemy territory.
Sometimes shot making in basketball doesn't carry over to the road. Guys tend to hit shots more comfortably on their home court, but defensive principles, that should carry over.
Fans, too, are hopeful they'll pull this one off.
Scotty Barnes is going to come out on fire, and all the rest of them are going to come out on fire. Like, there's no looking back. This is their time.
They're a young team, right? They don't have the experience. I hope I'm wrong.
Everybody counted them out, right, at the beginning, so let's go Raps, hey.
Game 5 goes tomorrow with a chance for the Raptors to take their first lead of the series. Allison Hurst, CTV News.
And as the Raptors keep their postseason going, the Toronto Tempo are about to start their preseason.
The team will play its first ever preseason game tomorrow night. CTV's Jessica Smith has more on the team's last-minute preparations.
That's a wrap on the first ever training camp for the Toronto Tempo.
Practice today was a good day, a really good day. And you know, the girls had obviously a few days, little lower days, had their media day yesterday, but came in with a lot of energy and focus.
As head coach, Sandy Brondello looks to finalize the roster. She says the pieces and players are falling into place.
Like, I feel good. I feel good. I think we're progressing in the right way. You know, on the court, off the court. I really love the coaching staff.
Guard Julie Allemon, the Tempo's first pick in the expansion draft, joined camp today after competing overseas and is excited to add her game to the mix.
I know the game. I have a lot of experience, so I think that's why the coach wanted me. And just like, you know, playing my game, she was really like, trust yourself, be yourself, and you're going to be amazing.
And help create a solid foundation.
So you can just build up, and I think that's what the team has been doing for a week now. And, you know, with the group that we have, like I said, we're really young. Like, I think like we'll have a lot of like energy, you know, to build something.
Establishing a winning mindset with big goals for the season.
We want to win as much as we can. We know that, but we know, you know, we're still realistic in that. Can we make the playoffs? I think that's a realistic expectation, and that's our goal.
Bringing their A game for Canadian fans.
The inaugural Toronto Tempo season officially gets underway tomorrow as they take on Connecticut at 7 p.m. at Coca-Cola Coliseum, and the home opener is May 8th against Washington. Jessica Smith, CTV News.
Just ahead, celebrating a milestone few people reach. One of the oldest people in Ontario is another year older. His secrets to 107 years of life and counting. It was a milestone celebration inside a Mississauga senior's home today.
Surrounded by family and friends, Ivan Winnichuk turned 107. Multimedia journalist Corey Baird caught up with Ivan to find out the secrets of his longevity.
A birthday bash befitting the occasion.
Happy birthday to you.
It's 107 years for Ivan Winnichuk, or to hear him tell it, 107 and counting.
Thank you, everybody.
Being 107 comes with challenges, and not in the how do you get that many candles on a cake variety. In the Ukraine of the 1930s, Ivan overcame inconceivable hardships. During the Holodomor, a famine induced by the Soviet Republic, Winnichuk and his family were shipped to Siberia. He was later drafted to fight for the Russians in World War II before fleeing to Germany, where he met his wife Olga, immigrating to Canada in 1951.
His mother says to him, never look back, always go forward, look for freedom and peace. Forget about us, just keep on going west.
West he went, building a home in London, Ontario with his bare hands. Hands he'd use in his later years to make origami for his great-granddaughters.
even when we go to visit him when he was like 100 years old, he could still pick us up even if we're so tall and like, you know. Yeah, and he always like just reiterates how important it is to keep moving around, stay healthy, and yeah, he can.
No drinking booze. No smoking, no stress, and he always knew that he can overcome things. He was a very, very positive person, very positive character.
Ivan is currently the 4th oldest man in Canada with a competitive streak that won't let him be content to stay in that position.
I challenged him to be 110. He always wins.
Corey Baird, CTV News, Mississauga.
What a great story. Happy birthday, Ivan.
I know. Can't wait. Oh, 110. We'll have to cover that, too.
Yeah, I think we will. You look great, too. I love that he dressed for the special occasion. Speaking of dressing, we might need a warmer jacket the next couple of days here. Unfortunately, temperatures are going to cool down a little bit. Here's one more look at the satellite and radar. We've got a couple of showers still in some areas, but it's not heavy rain at this point. We are going to get back into some wet weather for tomorrow, less so for the early morning commute and journey to school. This is more so going to be a late morning and early afternoon into the evening shower event. And then Thursday and Friday are a little drier with some sun, but we're not escaping the chance of showers for good. And then cooler conditions certainly as we make our way into the weekend with overnight lows near freezing a couple of times. That's going to bring us the risk of frost around the GTA. Michelle and Nathan.
Thank you, Lindsay. That is it for us, but be sure to join Omar Sachedina tonight at 11 for CTV National News, followed by Zarada Alman with your next local newscast at 11:30.
Meantime, our coverage continues anytime on CP24 and at ctvnewstoronto.ca.
For Lindsay Morrison and all of us here at CTV News, thanks for watching and have a great night.